Bitcoin is crashing. Bitcoin has been plummeting all week long. And a lot of you have been asking me, hey, boys, what do I do with my Bitcoin? Do I sell this stuff while the getting's good? Do I buy the dip? What's going on? Why is my Bitcoin crashing? Well, we're going to talk about that right now on the Black Financial Channel. So buckle up your seatbelt, get comfortable, hit the thumbs up button. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. I am Dr. Boyce Watkins, your friendly neighborhood finance professor. I am here getting ready for my wedding on Friday and super excited to get to marry a beautiful black woman that has agreed to take my hand in marriage. I don't know why anybody be crazy enough to do that, but we about to tie this knot, y'all, and it's about to go down. Weddings are expensive. Weddings can be a huge financial setback, and at some point, we're going to sit down and talk to you guys about the expenses of the wedding. And also on the blacklovechannel.com, we're going to live stream the wedding Friday at 3 p.m. So if you want to check it out, subscribe to the blacklovechannel.com. It's a YouTube channel where we do love and relationship conversations. So feel free to do that. Anyway, with that said, put a hashtag B1 in the chat, hashtag B in the number one if you agree that black people need to come first. We talk about wealth every day, but we want to make sure we keep it black, not just coincidentally black, but explicitly black, because I think that's really important. So here's what's going on right now. A lot of you, Aaron Davis and Jaquel and Bobby Washington, may be wondering what's going on with Bitcoin. How many of you, give me a yes or no in the chat, give me a yes or no. How many of you are aware that Bitcoin has been on fire in a bad way, like the house is burning down kind of fire for the past week? Give me a yes or no if you've been following what's been going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been getting body slammed. I mean, body slammed. I think it's dropped. The high was maybe 64,000. It's dropped to about 40,000. So it's literally dropped over 25, 28, 26%. And it keeps plummeting. Now, this is what's interesting, right? Bitcoin is sick, clearly sick, right? Think about a person like your cousin got sick, and usually when your cousin gets sick, you're like, oh, well, you're gonna get better, right? And then then the question becomes like, oh, not just are they gonna get better, but how long is it gonna take? How sick are they, right? And so, and why is that? Well, because sometimes we have a cousin who's sick for a couple of days, and then they get better, they go back to work, everything's cool. Then you have the relative who gets sick for a couple of months. But then they get better, they get back to normal, everything's cool. Then you have the person who's sick maybe 3, 4, 5 months, and they don't get completely better. They get better, but they're still crippled, they're still hobbled, they're still not what they used to be before they got sick, right? Like long-term effects of the virus or whatever, right? Just bear with me. This analogy applies. And then you have people that get sick and they never get better. They keep getting worse and then they die, right? And the same thing is true with a financial asset. A financial asset can do that. Sometimes they're sick for a little while, sometimes they're sick for a long time, sometimes they just die. And the hard part about Bitcoin is that when Bitcoin gets sick, you don't know exactly what's happening. You don't. There's no precedent for this. I can talk to you about, the S&P 500. I can say, oh, yeah, it's sick. It's probably not going to be sick too long. The average bear market, if you look at the data over the last 100 years, the average bear market lasts about 14 months. I told you guys at the start of COVID, during the start of the pandemic, I said, look, the average bear market is 14 months. So if you buy the dip now, you're going to be good, especially if you diversify, because buying the dip in the stock market historically has always been a winning strategy. I cannot say that about Bitcoin for a couple of reasons. I need y'all to listen to me now. I love Bitcoin. Now, if you want to know the short end of the story, some of y'all come and got short attention spans and whatnot. Maybe you went to Chicago public schools or something. You didn't really learn how to pay attention and shit. So I'm gonna go and give you the short end, and then I'm gonna break it down for you. The short answer is I just bought a bunch of Bitcoin. So if you want to know, well, Dr. Boyce, what did you do? I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but I'm gonna tell you what I did. I bought a bunch of Bitcoin, and then I'll explain why. But here's why it's not such a simple conclusion. The reason the conclusion is not so simple is because nobody understands cryptocurrency. Nobody knows how this is going to go. Crypto is like how, when 50 Cent, came out. I've used this analogy. I used it a couple of days ago. I think it's a good one. And he said, I got shot 9 times. And right before he was about to blow, like he got shot, and then but he survived, and he came out, became this huge artist. Well, and he's got many men wish death upon me. Well, many men wish death upon Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a lot of haters. Bitcoin has a lot of governments that are working to conspire to take down Bitcoin. Crypto in general has a lot of entities that do not have a direct interest in seeing crypto succeed. And this is where I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see how's this movie going to end. How is this going to play out? Why is Bitcoin dipped this week? Let me tell you why. Bitcoin's dipped this week because Bitcoin got shot 9 times. First of all, Elon Musk decided out of the blue, for whatever reason, with his old hating behind, because he makes me mad because one minute he's cheering for crypto, the next minute he's killing the price. But Elon Musk decided with Tesla that they were no longer going to take Bitcoin as a form of payment. Why would you do that, Elon? You just told us Bitcoin was amazing. Now you're killing the confidence in Bitcoin. That's kind of strange. So right then, $300 billion, I kid you not, $300 billion in value was instantly erased, like a magic trick. Like your money can literally disappear like hocus pocus up in this mug. So you got to understand that when you invest in this, that this is very volatile. It literally exists. It lives and dies on hearsay. It lives and dies on people's opinions. It lives and dies on whether or not somebody decides that they think it's going to succeed or not succeed. Like, that's not real. Like, that's a problem. That's a big problem. The second thing that really hurt crypto, that hurt Bitcoin a lot, was China. Again, China, another one of the haters that wants to shoot Bitcoin 9 times. The Chinese, one of the major Chinese financial regulatory authorities sent a note out to their banks. The Chinese banks, some of the biggest banks on earth, they dwarf the U.S. banks. They dwarf American banks. Well, this Chinese authority, I don't have the name of the authority in front of me, they sent out a notice to all the banks saying, do not engage in cryptocurrency transactions. Freeze out the crypto. Do not trade the crypto. Do not allow them to convert the crypto. Like, just keep your customers away from the crypto. Well, that's going to reduce the demand of the crypto. What they're seeking to do in some places is they're seeking to make Bitcoin and crypto toxic. And when you make something toxic, it doesn't matter if it's actually toxic or not. If you just make people think it's toxic, then they're going to treat it like it's toxic. They're going to avoid it like the plague. Look at T.I. and Tiny. We don't know if T.I. and Tiny are guilty of whatever they've been accused of, but they've already probably lost $10 million worth of income because nobody will touch them because they don't know what's going on, right? So with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's kind of being treated like kind of like a black man. Like, if you're a black man and you get accused of something, even if you didn't do anything, it takes a while to clear your name. Even if you didn't do anything, you become toxic. Even if you didn't do anything, they'll fire you just in case you touch that white woman inappropriately, right? And so Bitcoin is kind of being constantly accused of being this dirty, horrible, derogatory currency that is being used for criminal activity, that is environmentally unfriendly. I think that's what Elon Musk talked about. And I really worry about that, right? I worry about the money I have in Bitcoin because I think this money could poof disappear like a magic trick. In fact, this week, pay attention, y'all. This week, when they had that breakdown, anybody hear about that Texas pipeline where the hackers broke in and they basically held them up for ransom? They told them, give us $5 million and then we'll let you, send your oil through the pipeline. And they literally supply, I think, a fourth of the oil for all the Northeast. It was something crazy like that. Well, they wanted their payment in Bitcoin. And as I was reading this article about how these hackers have literally collected billions of dollars by basically hijacking companies, one of the things that they mentioned is that they usually ask for their payments in Bitcoin. Why is that a problem? Well, that's a problem for me because you're making Bitcoin even more toxic by leading to the simple conclusion that says, hey, Bitcoin is bad because criminals use Bitcoin to do illegal transactions that you can't trace, right? So I'm going to just tell you, this is just real clear. When you put your money in this crypto, just know that money could disappear real quick. Do not, in my view, I would not, just keep pouring money into this. Even if it goes up, even if Bitcoin could double tomorrow, And you're not going to see me going crazy and saying, oh my God, I have 90% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. No, I'm going to keep that about 8, 9, 10%. If Bitcoin goes up, I'm going to start selling my Bitcoin because I don't want to have too much of my portfolio locked up in something where my money could just disappear because Elon Musk farted on a tweet and decided that he wanted to change his mind because it was Tuesday. And suddenly now me and my family have like 20% less wealth. That's not where you want to be. That's not where you want to live. That's one of the reasons why people like Warren Buffett hate cryptocurrency. I do not agree with Buffett on this. I think crypto has a tremendous amount of potential. I think that you want to be a part of it. I don't think you want to just ignore it, but at the same time, just know, invest at your own risk. That's probably the biggest message I can share with you. That I hope you'll hear me on as you protect your money. Now, by the way, if you are still new to this or you're learning about investing, some of y'all are new, some of y'all been around for a while. And you want to get started, go to firstshareofstock.com. Firstshareofstock.com is where you can sign up and get a lot of free information from me in the Black Business School. And also, there's a free training on how to buy your first share of stock in 10 minutes or less. I was checking out my homeboy, the Wall Street Trapper. Me and him have so much respect for each other. And D1, who is probably the only financial rapper I can think of. He has a great songs like Sally Mayback, where he talks about paying back his student loans, or No Car Note, where he talks about how he drove that 98 Honda Accord since forever. I'm about to see D this week, and he's going to perform at our wedding. And we wanted D there because D is just an awesome dude, and that's the kind of person that we need to support and respect. Another person performing at the wedding is Victory Boyd, who was a singer. She says that she blew up off of our Facebook page, and I was really proud. And Victory Boyd is such a good singer. I swear to God, that she sang for Jay-Z, and Jay-Z instantly signed her to Rock Nation. So she's been signed with Rock Nation since that time. She's blown up. She literally wrote 3 songs on Kanye West's last album, and these are just good quality people. And I really bring this to you guys as kind of a close to this conversation to say that when we talk about entertainment, we talk about the nonsense that we see in media. It's up to us to be very clear about supporting the things that we love, supporting the people that we want to hear from, right? So I specifically wanted D1 and Victory Boyd at the wedding because I kind of want to see entertainers that have the conscience of the community, right? That are part of the soil. You guys we talked about that earlier when we came with that acronym this morning. Soil. It's the word soil spelled with 2 S's, and soil stands for uh, Sisters and Soldiers of Intellect and Leadership. Sisters and soldiers of intellect and leadership, right? So we need soldiers of intellectual leadership. We need sisters that believe in intellectual leadership, where we can be strong people and strong leaders, all of us, not just me, not just you, all of us, and also be intelligent. We want Black people to be smart because it really offends the hell out of me that everybody thinks that the only people I see getting major shine in this country, no disrespect, but all I ever see in magazines and media are rappers and athletes, just entertainers and athletes, and sometimes it's the worst entertainers and the people that represent the worst values of the community. So I want to see some of the scholars. I want to see some of the smart people. I want to see the Black fathers that are holding it down. I want to see some of these superhero mothers we have in our communities. Those mothers who will raise somebody's kids and didn't even have no kids, but you still a mother to 25 kids in the neighborhood because that's just where your heart is. Like, these are the people that hold the community together, not the Negroes they put on TV. So that's my little 2 cents I add on here. Y'all know me. I'm not just going to talk about the topic. I'm going to add a little bit of Black spin on it because we got to remember why we're doing this. The what is never as important as the why. So never forget your why, okay? So I hope you guys get it. I hope this makes sense to you. Everybody type the word soil in the chat, SSOIL. I'm going to start using that term actually a lot more. Soil stands for Sisters and Soldiers of Intelligence and Leadership. That's what we want in our community. We must have fertile soil if we're going to grow the kind of future that we want to have. You must fertilize the soil. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. Also, firstsharestock.com. If you go to firstsharestock.com, you can get the free training on how to buy your first share of stock. But also, there's a lot of other information I'll send you on how to get deeper into an investing, how to get better at it. Okay, so have a good night, guys. Love you. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Peace.